Can you all mute yourself? Anybody who is not muted, it's causing like a little bit of an echo. So, welcome to We the World's annual holiday party on Zoom this year because of COVID and everything. And I'll just play a little bit of music to bring us in.
Oh, nice. Wow. Wow.
So, somebody's sharing a video.
I was just testing out share screen to make sure it was working, so that way, like last time, it doesn't happen again.
Okay. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Good to see all of you here. I'm going to take my spotlight off. And hi, welcome to the party. Good to see everyone. Kurt Johnson, Do you want to welcome folks and just say a few words for the end of the year 2021 and looking forward?
Sure. So it's really nice to be here with everybody and to give a big congratulations for the December to February issue of Trends, which just came out today. I've downloaded it and shared it with a number of people for reasons I'll tell you in a moment. And it's a chance to really give a really free pitch for Trends and all that's in this issue, which I think starts with an article by Alan Steinfeld on the future of humanity that brings in everything that's in his book, Contact. And there's poetry by Becky Suzik and Kristen Hoffman, and a whole briefing on what's coming from the network's Longest Night program, December 21st, with Unity Earth and everybody in that larger family. And then amazing articles on climate and environment and environmental justice and health, and an introduction to We Power America. A really wonderful article by Shannon Crossbear on the solstice, and actually much more wonderful stuff, which I know you'll enjoy. And then on page 52 to 54, we have an article on the special on Voice America that we launched yesterday on the consciousness shift needed for real global change. And we invited both Rick from We the World, We Power America, We.net, 11 Days of Unity, everything that our beloved Rick does, and Robert Levine from Trends Magazine to be on that discussion with a dozen other thought leaders about what's the shift that's needed in consciousness in order for any of the ambitious plans to save the world to actually work. So we hope when you enjoy the magazine that you will access all the links there and listen to that. That's actually a third in a series of 4 specials we've done on global transformation. We've had about 50,000 listeners so far. And if you actually access all 4, it's Ken Wilber, Gene Houston, Rianne Eisler, David Sloan Wilson, Irvin Laszlo. So Rick and Robert are in great company. And the things that they say are really, really wonderful, particularly about the vision of we and how long the vision of we has been such an important player. So congratulations to Rick and Robert. That's my free ad. And happy holidays to everybody. And I hope you all can stay healthy and happy as we navigate into the future. So lots of love to all of you.
Yeah, this is Jerry Spivak. And I used to be the president of the New York chapter of the World Future Society, but I have been out of circulation for a while. So how does one get the Trends?
Rick will tell you now how to get Trends. I just sent out an email to a bunch of people telling them, but Rick probably can tell you better than me.
Rick?
Okay.
How do we get Trends?
Well, if you go to trends.we.net, that's probably the best way to go. You can get the past issues there. You can get the current issue that Kurt was just talking about. So the full name is Trends in Global Grassroots Organizing. So it's really about spotlighting who's doing what where in the world to create a world that works for all. So, Kurt, I wanted to see if you have any thoughts about moving forward. You're involved with so many different things. It's just amazing what you're doing, and you got the Synergy Superstar Award a few days ago from the Source of Synergy Foundation, and I think it's well earned because you're working with so many different groups like the SDG Synergy Circle group, and I think people might find it interesting to know your background, that you kind of have these amazing strands in your life, working in science, and you were working with the Museum of Natural History for many years, and maybe you could tell people about that, but you were also an ordained mo- a, a minister, I think. I forget exactly your spiritual titles, but you've had that as a long strand too, working with Wayne Teasdale and so many others. Do you want to? I think people would be very interested to hear some
Well,
of those
I think
strands in your life.
we're all interested in the sense that all of us now in this time, and Rick is such a great example, and all of you whom I know, like Hezekiah and others as well, that we're straddling so many things that have to be taken care of in the world, from the deepest part of our subjective nature, which is of course spirituality, to the deepest part of our objective nature, which of course is technology and science. And as Claudia Welsh, the chair of the IONS, says on the broadcast that Rick and Robert are a part of, it's the technology and science that got Edgar Mitchell to the moon, but it was his heart and his consciousness that understood the overview effect and then led to the founding of IONS and so many other worldviews that are about the unity of the earth and the fragility of the earth, and that we're all in the same boat. So everything that we has always done back decades to the 11 days of global unity, which I've always been a part of. So yeah, so I started out as a contemplative monk in the Christian tradition, and then went and became one of the early movers and shakers in the interspiritual interfaith movement. That's the East-West conversation across the world religions, and the North-South conversation between first world and indigenous religions, and really understanding the whole landscape, of who we are. So what that does, it actually brings us, all of you have grown up in this same time. You're all creatures I can see by kind of looking at your age along with me and the amount of white hair, the 60s and the 70s, where the understanding of one world and love and caring and holistic, global centric, cosmocentric worldview was birthing, and you've all been a part of that. So my doctorate was in evolution and ecology, so I was 30 years at the American Museum of Natural History, and I'm on a number of committees at the UN, which is why I also know Rick from there for many, many years. So we're actually trying to go whole package into this future with all of the skill sets that we need, from the deepest part of our humanity to all the potential skills of our technology. And just to note, to bring it again back to everything that Rick does, this is the era now for groups of groups and networks of networks. I think all of you who saw COP26, the climate conference, and realized that all the governments can do is kick the can, and big business is still all about business as usual, and it's promises, and blame. And the real effort to change the world to a great degree is going to have to come from the bottom up. So the effectiveness of groups, networks of networks, and this is where Rick's been such a pioneer, and everything that we do now with Unity Earth and Light on Light, and just go through all the list of other networks that are out there, the evolutionary leaders that many of us are a part of. We're going to just have to try to find that traction to have that global mind change that the founder of IONS again talked about, and try to reach our potential. I mean, this planet could be a paradise. I mean, if we were caring and loving toward each other and toward the environment, this planet could be a paradise. And so let's just hope that that emergence, which again is what Rick has talked about for 20, 30 years, that can really happen. And that's why we're all here. So I think leaving it at that, and again, to salute Hezekiah and her friend Avon, who was such a dear, dear friend of mine and ours for many years, people who were the pioneers in this one world, a world-centric vision. And now it's a cosmocentric vision. So what Alan writes about in Trends, yeah, it's a cosmocentric vision now. We're really a part of a galactic, community. And I think what, yesterday was it, that they announced the discovery of all of this water on Mars at the equator, which is where they hadn't found water before, and there's tons of it. So it's exciting. So I'm just hoping that when we're all working together, we're going to get there. And actually the world that my kids would like to see, and your kids would like to see, and my grandkids would like to see, could really happen. So I think that's kind of it. And lots of love to everybody for all of your effort and all of your care and all that you do.
Kurt, I'm assuming that you're familiar with Robert Jastrow, who was the head of astronomy at Columbia University. And he wrote a number of books on evolution. And his last book said that we are the offspring of, the monkeys and so on, but our offspring are the robots. And that is, in fact, the future. And they're the ones that can leave this planet. And we know what a rotten group we are for taking care of this planet. So I'm hoping for some really good robots in the future.
Let's hope that if there are lots of robots, at least they're good guys. Yeah, I did my evolution at Columbia under Niles Eldredge. So yeah, it's a wonderful institution. So congratulations to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jerry. And I also spotlighted Tezekiah because you mentioned her, Kurt. Tezekiah is working with Pathways to Peace, and we the World has been a partner with Pathways to Peace for decades, and certainly working with Avon Madison, who passed recently. But I just thought Tezekiah, or Tez, I think people just
Either
call you
way.
Tez, right?
You can.
Otherwise, you sound like a biblical figure, and we think you're gonna like rise up in your chair.
Well,
Tezekiah.
that could happen. So,
So do
Oh
you
my-
want to just say a few words and
sure.
reflect
a very,
on what Kurt was saying, and anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to share at this point? We're towards the end of 2021 and looking forward.
We are. And Rick, I can never refuse your invitations. You just, when the invitation comes from you, it's just because of your heart and your presence. Every occasion is a celebration. So thank you for continuing to bring joy into our lives. And Kurt, I have loved you before I met you. Avon spoke so dearly of you and often. And so you've been very present in my time with Pathways to Peace. And yes, what a tender time it has been, and yet a time for deep reflection. My own charge for a very long time has been around creating the new earth. As you talked about, Kurt, the heaven on earth, the possibility that we can create paradise here is what my work has been about at Pathways to Peace, but throughout my lifetime. So I just am so grateful for the calling I received from Pathways to Peace, because it has allowed me to bring my own vision for peace, my own vision for what we can co-create here into the forefront of our work, boldly into the forefront. So Rick, I believe the upcoming year is going to be amazing. There are so many opportunities to co-create that new earth here right now. And so I'm just grateful to be here. I can't be here very long because I have another commitment, but I couldn't refuse to come in for the first hour and just be present with you, with Kurt, and with all these amazing people. Of course, all it takes is love, right? That is the great transformative energy. So thank you. I just honor both of you and all of you. And I'm just grateful to be in this glorious company.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tez. It's always great. And I can never refuse your invitations either. So we're going forward strong. So thank you. And I see that Robert is in the house, and Kurt was talking quite a bit about Trends magazine. Maybe, Robert, would you like to say a few words? Because this is actually a this is also a release party for the latest issue of Trends.
Sure, Rick, I'd be happy to. And I'm so glad to see everyone on this evening. And this is actually, we're always excited when we're about to release a new issue of Trends. But I think what makes this one even more exciting, it's our 4th quarterly issue in 2021. So it's been a tremendous amount of work. It's been a project of love, a project of dedication. I wanted to start off by always recognizing you and making this possible and having the vision, but especially Angel Fullerton, who's our production end, and just all the amazing contributors and writers and people who have supported this magazine. And I believe we have a very bright future. We have regular.
Yes, and I want to ask Angel if you can turn your video on so people can see you and so I can bring you into the conversation with about Trends. Is that possible, Angel? There you
Everything
go.
is possible.
Anything is possible. So this is Angel, who, if Angel was not helping with Trends, Trends would not exist. And in fact, Angel, it was your idea to kind of bring it back from the ashes of a few years ago when we tried it out, so just so people know, Trends can be found at trends.we.net, and Robert is the editor, and Angel is the producer, production manager, designer, and everything else about it.
The holiday
So-
party.
So, thank you. Do you want to say a few words about it and what's exciting for you in the latest issue?
Yes, definitely. It is very exciting and such an honor to actually be able to put this together and be one of the first to see what's going in there. I feel very privileged. We have some amazing contributors as usual.
Holiday party. The we usually go
The
there.
background noise.
Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah, go ahead.
So yes, all of our contributions in Trends magazine are really amazing. Robert does an excellent job finding those contributions for us. I know that's a big job. So we really appreciate that. As far as my favorites, that's really hard to choose because I know I was really excited just within our own team putting together what's happening in the We Change Agent Network. You'll see that in Trends Magazine. We have a few groups around the globe that are working in their local communities. They sent us some really nice images to share what they've been up to. That was really exciting to see all of that was happening around the globe within our team. So yeah, I really want to thank everyone for contributing to Trends Magazine, and also to make everyone aware that when you do make those donations, it does help us to keep ad space free, because with any project, it does cost money, but with your donations, it does help us keep the ad space free and help out more of our global grassroots movements and let their voices and their projects be heard to get their movements in front of a wider audience.
Can you share the cover, maybe? Do you have that available?
I can bring that up if the Zoom will let me.
Okay, and while Angel is doing that, Robert, what stood out for you in the current issue?
Well, to start, I'm very excited about our overall topic. It's very timely in that we're recognizing the winter solstice and the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, and the coming of the light. Because in dark times, and I guess there are always dark times, they seem to be quite dark these days, but there's always light. There are always people that are committed to change, that are committed to creating a humane vision towards our fellow humans as well as to all life on this planet. So some of the ones that I really think are quite amazing in this article is Patrick. Patrick Carolyn has written another beautiful essay about human rights and the human spirit. We have a wonderful contribution from Alan Steinfeld on the new story of humanity. As always, a wonderful contribution from Kurt Johnson, who has been such an active supporter and an active contributor. We also have some new contributors. We have a very informative piece about idling in parked vehicles by Robin Strickel, Robin Strikler, let me say that correctly. And it's a very powerful piece. So, yeah, there are quite a few wonderful pieces in this, as there are in every issue. And it's just turning out to be quite an amazing magazine.
Robin is actually on with us, so.
Oh, I'm hoping, Robert, hopefully you can speak a little about
Yes.
your article as well.
Do you want to say a few words about it? And I think later you're going to do some performance also, Robin. Let's see. I have to find.
Oh, I can't see myself, so. And I have to see myself.
There we go.
You wanted to hear a few words about the idling article?
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you could speak about it, yeah, please. And it is wonderful to actually meet you on Zoom, Robin.
You too, both of you, and Angel. I already met Rick, and he's the one that introduced me to you. So grateful. Yeah, I mean, basically, I just noticed something that people were unconsciously doing 3 years ago, and it's interesting that I didn't even notice it before then. So awareness and awakening is what so fascinates me, because we sort of awaken when we awaken, and it's truly like waking up. So I'm in Los Angeles, 3 to 5 people a block idle their parked vehicles, their parked gasoline diesel vehicles. It just multiply that by the blocks in Los Angeles. I mean, that's what I noticed when I went on a walk. So I'm just, and in parking lots, and you just see it all over. So I just called my representatives and said, hey, this is like, why are we doing this? Why don't people know, like turn off the tap, turn off the light switch, right? Why don't they know to turn off their parked vehicle engines? And I just want to throw in that, we have to have adaptation strategies. I don't think we think about that a lot. People in Los Angeles, in car cities, use their cars as living rooms, texting, phone booths. We need strategies. We need to take into account strategies to help people not, have an alternative. And that's why my articles are titled the advocacy and the power of the what is it entitled? The power of the I have it right here. I just advocacy and the power of the overlooked obvious, and that's where the waking up comes. So I'm not going to go through all the details because you can read the article, but I think there's a lot of power in the little things we notice that just don't make sense, and there's a lot of power in raising people's consciousness through these education about sustainability practices. Like they know to turn off the light and the tap, but they don't know to turn off their gas engine. And I think it could have a phenomenally important effect on the globe. And I'll just tell you why, because it's 3 million tons of CO2 annually from California alone, from needless parked vehicle idling alone. 30 million tons in the United States. It must be hundreds of million tons in the world. It wastes money, it wastes gas, it's more wear and tear on the vehicle. It's a complete win-win-win to notice that we should be turning off our parked vehicle engines in non-emergency situations, or non-emergency or health situations. So that's basically it. You can read the article and spread the word, and just think if you see something that people just aren't awake about, I think it can do a lot for us all to bring these things to consciousness.
Exactly.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you,
And just,
Robin.
by the way, Rick, they just announced today from New York City that they will no longer allow for future buildings that go up natural gas. It will all be electrical in the next couple of years.
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
I think that's a major step in terms of
Okay.
cutting back at gas. And,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
New
Oh,
York
also-
City, New York City has the most stringent and longest term idling consciousness and laws in the United States. So they
Wow,
were
that's-
on this in the 70s. And
Wow, that's good
LA
to know.
and California, it's completely off the radar except for heavy duty trucks.
Yep. So, so this is fabulous, and thank you. Any other things you
Yeah,
want to
Rick-
point out?
Yeah, I'd
Robert?
like to, well, there are two people I want to recognize. One, we have a little piece on the, oh, just excuse me for a second, my brain is not quite,
Well, you're at a party, you know. What can you
yeah,
expect?
I'm driving today and I was very conscious when I was sitting still not to idle. That was very important. But one piece that, though it is attributed to me, I just put together some words that I found on the website of the restorative justice, the restorative justice initiative, and that came to us by the way of Retta, who I see is online as well.
Ah, let's
So if
let's
it
see if we
wasn't
can
for-
get Retta
yeah.
up. There's Retta.
Retta, if you since you introduced us to this, and I want to thank you because it's an amazing organization. They do amazing work, and you're the one that essentially brought it to our attention.
Yeah, RJI, or Restorative Justice Initiative, promotes and is an info hub for all things restorative. It was founded by a woman, a lawyer named Mika Dashman, who's got just, there are many lawyers who are just fed up with the adversarial nature of how we do justice, or justice with a question mark, in this country. And so Mika founded the organization. Robert had originally reached out to me because I'm what they call a restorative practices coordinator. One area where restorative practices and restorative justice are used is in schools. And I work in a high school. It's the same high school where I served for over 20 years. I ran the special education department. And the kind of, when you work with special education kids, they come in with a lot of social and emotional angst because they feel different. They may not, schools are not designed for different kinds of learners. And much of my work was social emotional with them, finding their strengths and reminding them that they had strengths. And in terms of discipline, when I found out about restorative justice, I saw that what I had developed on my own was very, very similar. So when Rick and I have known each other for many, many, many years. And he, gave Rob my name, and Rob was asking me about restorative justice in general. And I said, well, I have a very small focus. The 500 kids that we have year after year after year. I mean, I've been in education for 30 years, so I've worked with a lot of kids in middle school and then in high school. So I turned him on to Mika, who has a much broader view, because restorative justice exists obviously in the criminal justice system, and countries use that. In New Zealand, the entire juvenile justice system is restorative. And what it really means is bringing accountability, but understanding to justice processes, and focusing on the needs of of the people who are harmed and bringing the possibility, when people consent, of bringing people who harm and people who have been harmed together, so that the person who's harmed can hear about the effects of their actions, and they're given a chance to sincerely apologize and to try to make things right. And then, if possible, to be brought back into the community, and to become a productive citizen, not necessarily to be stigmatized. And interestingly enough, they say that restorative justice works well even with particularly heinous crimes. It is part of what Truth and Reconciliation was in South Africa, Truth and Unity in Rwanda. And it's not a panacea by any means, but it is another way, a more interconnected way to look at justice. So
That sounds fabulous. Thank you so much, Retta. And
I do hope we can have more on this um, in our future issues. I think it's an important movement and important initiative. So we're looking forward to doing other articles on this kind of work in our future issues of Trends. So thank you for introducing us to that.
my pleasure.
Yeah, Rick, and one other person I'd like to maybe shout out right now is we have a wonderful piece about Lanny Smith. Lanny, who's a long-term friend of we, and his work as Earthman. And I love that we can feature the Earthman Storms New York City.
And I'm going to add Earthman here to the spotlight, and we're going to hear more from Earthman in a little bit. But anything you want to say just now about the piece?
Wait, Rick, one thing, is the Trends newspaper the same as the Global Action newsletter? Was that
No,
what,
the
what came up?
Trends is a magazine, an online magazine, and you can get it by going to trends.we.net. The
Yeah, that's
Global
where-
Action newsletter is just a newsletter that we send out to the
Yeah,
network.
no, that's where I went, and the first thing that comes up seems to be this Global Action newsletter. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right, but
Rick, I would like to congratulate you on the launch of the Trends magazine. This is Ambassador Anwarul Chaudhry, and I'm
yes,
delighted to join all of you and listen to you, but maybe not for a long while. But I'm very happy, and I congratulate you on you and your colleagues on this wonderful initiative.
thank you. If you
Thank
can
you so
hang out
much.
a little bit, I want to kind of give you the floor a little bit later, Ambassador. Do you have a time limit, or are you okay?
I have a time limit because I am on another Zoom meeting with San Francisco in 15 minutes, 8 o'clock.
Okay. So we have a
wait.
couple of people who are going to do some things, but I tell you what, why don't we go to you, Ambassador Chowdhury, because we definitely want to hear from you, and then we will go to Sue Blythe, who's going to give us a very interesting presentation based on the Climate Collaboratory and a production, a theatrical production that she's been working on. But since you have to leave soon, Ambassador Chowdhury, why don't we go to you? I mean, just finish up. Robert, anything further that you want to say about Trends?
It's just that I really encourage everyone to not only read it, but to share it and to please also write for us. What we value is that we have diverse and original voices. And it is truly a product of we. It's all of us working together to pass on the message and the vision. So thank you all.
Yes, thank you all. And thank you especially, Robert, for being the editor of Trends magazine.
Oh, it is an honor. It's truly an honor.
That's great. Okay, so let's quickly go to Ambassador Chowdhury. Do you want to just reflect on some of the things that maybe you heard earlier? You heard Tezekiah and Kurt Johnson, Tez with Pathways to Peace, and she's also involved with the Culture of Peace initiative. And you've been such a champion of the culture of peace for so many decades. And every year you have the high-level forum on the culture of peace at the United Nations. And the Secretary General issues a statement for that each year.
And the President of the General Assembly.
And the President of the General Assembly, definitely.
Who convenes this meeting.
Exactly. So, so what do you think? Where are we at as a human species now? We're moving. We've had, or most of us on this Zoom are part of the human species.
Yes. All of us are. And thank you, Rick, for allowing me to cut the line and come ahead of other colleagues who are here. I apologize to all of you because of taking advantage of my early departure to get an opportunity to speak very quickly. But I should say that as we continue to say all these years that we are a special, crucial juncture of human history, we continue to be like that. We will be in that situation for many more years to come. But that should not defeat our human spirit. That is the most important thing. We human beings, human species, have innovated, have motivated, have generated, and been creative in addressing our challenges in many ways. So as we were coming out of the Cold War, you know, the United Nations came into existence out of the aftermath of the Second World War. And as we were coming out of the Cold War in the end of last decade, 2 decades ago, last decade of the last century, we were thinking what to do about making peace sustainable and making peace based on grassroots. And then this idea of the concept of the culture of peace came at a conference in Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and then it resulted in this concept that peace should be inculcated by every one of us. Unless it has taken a root in ourselves, the world will never be at peace. We can have all the declarations, you can have all the protests for peace, but nothing will happen unless we change ourselves. This is nothing new, but needed a revisiting after the Cold War. And in 1999, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a program of action and on the culture of peace. And this program of action has 8 action areas, starting with education, human rights, sustainable development, all the way to tolerance and understanding and equality between women and men. So all these things are part of the work of the United Nations. And after the UN Charter, this program of action is the major UN document agreed by consensus by all 193 member states that covers all the areas of human activity as a part of the promotion of culture of peace. And Rick and I had been working for long, and Rick's the programs and activities under the peoples have been covering the culture of peace in many, many ways. As a matter of fact, you cover all the 8 areas of action in a wonderful way during your days of global action. So that is what I believe it is very important for us to remember. And we believe that in advancing the culture of peace, there are three groups of human beings, the human species, as we say, are very important. First is, of course, the role of women. Women's equality, women's participation is absolutely essential. Secondly, I believe young people with their creativity, with their objective to reach out to the future or create their own future is also very important. And finally, are the children, that we believe that tendency, whether you live a life in a non-aggressive way or in a violent way, starts very early age. Neuroscientists believe that it comes as early as 4 or 5 years of age. And that is why we believe more focus should be made or put on the children, so that their needs, emotional, behavioral, and social needs are addressed properly. They grow up as non-aggressive human beings who can address the challenges of their life in a non-violent way. These are simple things of how we interact with each other. And those things need to be addressed. Are you hearing me? Or
Yes.
okay, those needs to be addressed in our families, in our schools, and in our communities. So that is what my intentions have been, and we have, out of which Rick is a member also, an organization, a civil society coalition called the Global Movement for the Culture of Peace. And we have been, as Rick mentioned, since 2012, the President of the General Assembly convenes an annual high-level forum to discuss how the member states, how civil society, how media organizations, how UN system can contribute to the culture of peace. And I think that is what we are doing. And I'm sorry, I'm taking a little longer than I expected to, but I congratulate you, Rick, and We the Peoples, and Mr. Levine on the launch of the Trends magazine. And I
And
believe,
Ambassador, would it help if the United Nations were to make a rule that the permanent members of the Security Council can only be countries that have not engaged in war in the last 5 years?
yes, that is that. Even all the 15 members of the council who is engaged in war or promoting war or violence in any part of the world will not be eligible for membership of the Security Council. That's very true. And talking about Security Council, I believe the most important thing is to take away the veto power of the permanent members of the United Nations. Veto power is a negative force, negative power in the working of the United Nations.
There you go. And I definitely.
Yesterday, or
Yes.
day before, there was a veto on the connection between climate change and peace. So
And what happened? Who vetoed what?
Russia vetoed. Russia vetoed, and India voted against, and China abstained.
Wow. But I definitely want to applaud your work. You mentioned women as one of the 3 pillars, but you have been a champion for supporting women in leadership roles at all levels of society. Do you want to say anything about Resolution 1325 and the work that you've been doing to champion women's leadership has just been remarkable.
Well, that is, I believe, for the first time, the Security Council recognized the equal participation of women in the context of peace and security. Previously, women were taken as only victims of violence, as refugees, as victims of rape and other kinds of sexual abuse. But we believed that at that time, in March of 2000, I was the president of the Security Council, and I said that this is an area we have ignored, the role of women in promoting peace and security. And I said, I have personally visited many countries of the world, particularly in Africa. I have found how women have contributed to the peace process and how women have kept the society moving ahead when the men were fighting with each other. And that is a remarkable thing that we believe that should be taken note of by all countries. So last year, we observed the 20th anniversary of that resolution, popularly known as 1325. The Security Council resolution are serialized by a number. So 1325 encourages, energizes, and ensures that the equality of participation of women at all levels with men. That is a must. It is not on the lower level or higher level, every level. And that is why we have been, Rick, you know that I am very actively involved in seeking a first woman Secretary General of the United Nations. We had 9 Secretary Generals, all men. And it is high time that we have to, more than 50% of humanity are being ignored, marginalized, without giving them this opportunity. And this happens, as Mr. Northrop said, that this happens because of the veto, because of the Security Council members, because they try to find out that whoever works at the behest of their programs, they are elected Secretary General. The Secretary General does not represent the peoples of the world. He, or I hope, no, she will do that. They only listen to the permanent members. And that is why the UN is not able to achieve the objectives it had started with.
Right, so thank you, and also thank you, Ambassador Chowdhury, for being a champion of We the World and the We campaign, and of course 11 Days of Global Unity that you referred to with our 11 campaigns for change. So we look forward to continuing our collaboration with you going forward to create this world as a place that works for all. Thank you, Ambassador Chowdhury.
Thank you. If you don't mind, after 2-3 minutes, I will depart.
Okay, no problem at all. And Sue, are you ready to do your presentation?
I am.
Okay, that's wonderful. Sorry to make you wait and others. I mean, we have just so many incredible people with us at the party here. And we want to hear some music too. So maybe after you're done, Sue, we'll hear from Lenny and have some music. Is that possible, Lenny? Hopefully.
Hope so.
I think he's doing the thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay, so
Awesome.
Sue, take it away.
Okay. Well, I am just so pleased to be here tonight. The idea of working together for the betterment of the world. Ambassador Chowdhury, I wanted to say that the work that I'm doing is totally dedicated to educating for a culture of peace and drawing on the spiritual energy that's available to us at this critical moment in Earth's history. So many of you know that during 2018 and 19, the We family followed Unity Earth with a series of interfaith gatherings going around the world, across the United States, on the road to 2020. Well, that 2-year journey so inspired me that I wanted to continue on the road to 2030, 2050, and beyond, and see if we can't make a world that works for all using the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and many of the tools and resources that are available to us. Well, down here in Alachua County in North Florida, we're taking our whole community on the road to a sustainable, just, and peaceful future. When both the city of Gainesville and Alachua County declared a climate emergency, we created the Climate Collaboratory as a pilot project of We the World and the University of Florida Extension. Well, since Earth Day of 2020, we've been sharing bits and pieces of what I call a collaborative storytelling adventure. And tonight I invite you to join Tomorrow's Dreamers. It's an intergenerational group of Zoom theater storytellers. Grandmother Shannon Crossbear is one of them. She's been working with us on bringing the Indigenous perspective to our climate conversation. And Shannon is here tonight and will be helping. You want to say hi, Shannon? Maybe.
Of course, I would be muted. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm glad to join you. Just going to be helping out here. We're gonna play a little game, right, Sue?
That's right. That's right. So we are going to be acting out what we call Act 4 of a play that we'll be producing in Earth Month in April. And our play includes this little game, and we're inviting you to play with us tonight. And so throughout the reading of this play, I'm going to be singing snippets of songs that you may or may not recognize. And I'm not going to show you the whole play. We're just doing a little piece of it. But we do have songs all the way through. And so, for example, if I sing do 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 do, if you know the name of that song, put it into the chat and send it, hit enter. Oh yeah. Okay, so Shannon, how many did we get? Oh, you're muted.
I only see one in the chat box.
Okay, so maybe we can get more.
We have two.
Okay, awesome. So Shannon's going to keep score as we go through this little play. And if you would please put in your guesses when you recognize one of these songs, it will help us to earn points for the Earth. If you would please help us play. Okay, so our play is called A Climate Carol. Climate past, present, and imagined future. And this, of course, is with apologies to Charles Dickens. Well, Act 1 begins in the office of Sue Scrooge. That's me. And Bob Cratchit says he won't be at work tomorrow. Do 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 do. Rick, are you going to back me up on all of these?
Remember, I have no idea what she's going to sing or say.
This is
I'm
totally,
just doing it.
Totally impromptu, ad lib. Here we go. We'll see how we do. Okay.
That way we get to count Rick too if he gets them right.
That's a good idea.
Maybe we should give him 5 points. Okay. And so he's not going to be here tomorrow because it's UN Day, and he, or actually she, is doing a presentation. And it is so distressing that Cratchit is not going to be there tomorrow that he gets indigestion. Da, 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 da. And you want to do it? Da, 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 da.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't? Somebody does, I see. Oh, what a relief it is. That was the Alka-Seltzer commercial.
Oh,
And
wow.
and so he gets indigestion and goes to bed. And then ding, it's 1 o'clock. Scrooge wakes up. Enter the ghost of Climate Past, who shows Scrooge and what the world looked like at the end of the Holocene, that Goldilocks time, not too hot, not too cold, when the human race grew and developed over countless generations. Wa da 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 da. Da 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 da. La 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 la. Anybody? Nope, nobody. Da 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 da. What a wonderful world. Yeah. So
Yeah, we have one person there got it in the chat.
civilizations came and went. Technological revolutions brought us to a time when it really seemed possible that we could learn to live together as one human family and one Earth community with a common destiny. And we could actually make a world that works for all. Da 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 da. Dawning of the age of Aquarius. And the peace
Right.
will guide the star planets, and love will, what is it? Guide the stars. I forget. Okay. But the human family was changing things. So I'm going to share my screen here. 1 second. 2 seconds. And here we go. Okay. You got it?
And made carbon and plastic pollution and nuclear fallout.
Are you able to hear that?
Yes, it's a little low.
Yeah, I can't really make it any louder, so we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Changed everything for the human family and for the community of life on Earth. In just our lifetime, the planet warmed enough, ominously, to tilt the balance of nature.
We didn't know. We thought it was progress. This is really depressing. I'm going back to bed.
Scene 3. Climate present. It's 1 a.m. Ding! Scrooge wakes up. Enter the ghost of climate present. And action.
I am the ghosts of climate present. Have you wondered why the hurricanes are getting bigger and stronger and wetter? The oil and coal that people have burned for hundreds of years have polluted the air with carbon so badly that the whole planet, even the oceans, got too warm. Warmer oceans mean higher tides, bigger storms, and that spells trouble with a capital T, even here in Alachua County, Florida. Trouble. Oh, we got trouble right here in Gainesville, Florida. Capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pollution. Fossil fuel pollution. We surely got trouble right here in Gainesville, Florida, right here. Got to figure out a way to find a climate change solution. Trouble, 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 trouble.
But hell is what our whole civilization is built on. The world needs fossil fuels to power our prosperity, keep up our quality of life. What makes the world go round? Oil makes the world go round. Oil makes the world go round.
Now, in the turbulent 20s, we know the unintended consequences, all the comforts and conveniences that fossil fuels have given us. We now know what will happen with business as usual. We now know that we have to make changes, and we know what changes need to be made. And we know we have to do it fast. The window of opportunity is closing, my friend.
I'm too old and too tired to change. Oh, anyway, I won't be around to see the rest of that story. So,
Yes, but others will be. Look at these children. They care about what happens.
I've heard that the earth is changing. I wonder what it will be like when I have children and grandchildren.
The grown-ups aren't taking action anywhere near fast enough.
We have to do something now. We can't wait until our generation grows up. We need to act now.
These are the 20s, and it's time to roar out of the past into tomorrow. These are the 20s. It's pedal to the floor. Gotta move fast. Got no time to borrow. Seas are rising, bees are dying as our forests burn. Fields are flooding, people dying as pandemics turn. Plastics clogging up our oceans. Will we never learn? If we don't change now, we'll reach the point of no return. The point of no return. The point of no return.
We have a blueprint for a better world, House. That's right. It has everyone to help make the world work for people and the planet.
Attention, attention. It's Code Red for Humanity. It is a critical moment in Earth's history.
We have a blueprint for a world house. That's 17 global goals for a better future.
We want people of all ages to show us how they are helping to make a world that works for all.
We need everyone to give their time, talents, and resources to make change we want to see in the world.
And we need to do it fast if we're going to have a livable Earth for future generations.
Let's invite our friends to sing and dance and play our way to a healthy planet for living things. We'll ask everyone to share stories and arts and crafts and games and books and movies and much more to help build a better future for us and for our great-great-grandchildren.
and dreaming of a world house where everybody can go around together.
Together, we will dream on.
Well, I don't know if my generation will wake up in time. We're awfully busy buying and selling, keeping up with the Joneses. My brain gets tired just thinking about all the changes we'll need to make. It's overwhelming. I'm going back to bed. Okay, so the story continues, and we will be seeing what happens. That was, you met the ghost of climate past, and that was the ghost of climate future with her own original songs, two of them. And so we are now going to take Act 3 into the imagined future. And we're going to ask all of you to help us write that part of our collaborative storytelling adventure. In January and February, we're manifesting the dream of Martin Luther King with a blueprint for a world house and the beloved community choir. Well, you can join the Interfaith Climate Group for a series of workshops from January 25th to March 1st. We are building community in a changing climate. And watch for the invitation in the January newsletter. And you can see activities on the Global Unity Calendar. That's globalunitycalendar.org. But that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. In March and April, We're planting seed ideas in the gardens of global unity where all things are possible. On the main stage at the Global Nature Fest, we're playing the World House Games to make the world work for 100% of humanity and the community of life on Earth, our home. Speaking of World House Games, hey, Shannon, how did we do on Name That Tune?
We have 12 points, Sue. 12 points for us today.
Awesome. Well, you know, that's 12 points for the we team and 12 points for the Earth. You know why it's the same score? Because we are the only ones playing so far. And our dear Earthman says,
Who wants to be a climate collaborator?
yoo-hoo, here is I'm going to put the link to register as a climate collaborator into the chat in 1 second. And our story goes on the road to 2030, 2050, and beyond.
And Sue, I have something to close out your presentation. Guess this song. Actually, you'll remember it from before. Let the sun shine in.
I love it. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you all. And we hope to see you on the road to 2030, 2050, and beyond.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Shannon.
And Earthman.
And Earthman. Earthman, we want to go to you in a moment. But before we do that, someone who has to leave just wanted to see if she can say a few words. Linda DeHart with the flags of the earth. Or you can say the exact title.
The Flags of One Family.
There
My
you go.
husband just got home from the hospital and I have to have dinner with him. So I've got a little compromise going on here. And so this has been fun. And yes, yeah, I don't know what else to say, Rick.
Well, I'm glad you're able to join us today for the party. I just want to say just what the flags are about, how it's
Okay.
and where
Yes.
people can see them.
Oh, I reach around in back of me and I can wave them. They're all different sizes.
And the name again is what?
They're flags of one family on Earth. Okay. So they are a symbol that help people recognize everything that we're talking about. This is when these flags have been used since 1984 in celebrations around the world. And through Unity Earth, they're getting even more coverage right now, and also through the Trends magazine. I think it was the last issue, but due to health reasons with my husband, I've sort of lost track of time. Sometime this past year, I was in Trends magazine telling the story of the flags of one family. So it's part of the celebrations as we begin to see change happen. We can begin to see these symbol of that change. And so we can look at them. They're both also digitally. There are some programs online that show the unification of people, of all people to work together. Okay. And it's Flags of One Family, or it's Flags of onefamily.org is the
There you go.
website.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm sorry I have to go, but I'm so glad I've been here. He was sleeping and now he's up. And so I snuck in. Thank you for even this part of it, and how creative that was, Sue, of your whole team there. Very, very innovative. The time for a lot of innovation is happening right now. We are so moved. I guess we need the movement. We need to be pushed into movement, and we are moving. And that's to celebrate. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Lynette,
so much, everybody.
Sue, Shannon, and
Yeah.
and all.
All right.
So Lenny, let's see what's happening with you. Tell people about the Earthman project. You are the Earthman, aren't you? And you're muted. You're a muted Earthman.
Okay, how about now?
Yes.
All right, and in a moment, I'll need to share my screen so I can share something with you all, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody, and peace be with you. I don't know if the ambassador is still here. I know he was going to something else, and all the programs are wonderful and they're powerful, and they will take time. And as a writer, songwriter who thinks philosophically a lot, the Earthman Project uses music and the arts as a strategic tool in both the peace and the environmental movement. That it's a reminder of kindness. You know, what's the act that we can do tomorrow, today, this minute, that people know? Love is yes, love is the power, but it's very hard to deal with all the ramifications around the word love. But kindness, we practice kindness. It wakes up the deepest part of our soul. So maybe there may be other words or other acts that we can all do. This last year, certainly in the last year or two, COVID and the growing ramifications of a overheated planet continue to take its toll on humans, and will continue because climate, the changes in the atmosphere, the heat already baked in for the next 25 years, even if we stop emitting tomorrow. So there'll be a lot of rebuilding of our societies, rebuilding of our relationships between humans, fixing that climate, as well as fixing the climate between humans and the planet itself. And so I had a song that I wrote after Hurricane Andrew destroyed pretty much half of my hometown, Miami. And the song went on to become one of the major theme songs for the rebuilding of South Florida after the hurricane. And it's also been used around the world by radio and by houses of worship to infuse into the populace that's suffering, the adults and the children, a sense of hope. Because right now you go to where the tornadoes hit, or after New Orleans and Katrina, or the storms in Tokyo or the Philippines, at first what people are dealing with is survival. And then they're dealing with the emotional pain, the mental pain of death and destruction. And all the input they're getting is COVID, is pretty dark. And what I believe is we need to integrate into the process of disaster response messages that uplift, that remind people that no matter what, love can build anything. So I'm going to attempt here to share with you the music video I did this year called Love Can Build Anything. This music video, there's been many versions of it over the years as I've changed it with different disasters, but I did one focused in on COVID and the response. I want to share it with you because in the end, love can build anything. It's the hope after the fall. My friends, love can build everything. Only love will build it all. Is it possible for us to switch to my screen, my friend?
Yeah, so share your screen and share your audio.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen and nothing is happening.
Did you, yeah, you click share your screen and share computer audio?
Yeah, oh, there's the screen here. Let's see. Let me push that. Oh, here we go. All right, share screen. And no, that's not Sunny and share screen.
Yeah, I know. You are competing with some people I know for bad jokes.
When I was in New York,
Some
Rick,
people I know intimately.
there was a great picture of Rick and I. We got together when I was in New York working some climate strategies and recording actually another kind of tongue-in-cheek version of the Earthman Blues. And I'm working on its edit right now. So, okay, share. And are you seeing anything?
Yeah, we do. You may want to make it full screen, right?
Yes, I'm going to do that.
And
so
did you share the audio, computer audio?
And we'll see how this thing works right now. Here we go.
Sometimes in life, a strong wind blows that can turn your world upside down. So many tears, so many fears. When will we be on safer ground? There's only one power, hammer in hand. There's only one answer, the heart understands. Love can build anything. It's the hope after the fall. Love can build anything. Only love will build it all. Love is stronger than a hurricane. It can calm the stormy sea. Love is strong enough to heal the pain and finally bring us peace. There's only one power, hammer in hand. There's only one answer, the heart understands. Love can build anything. It's the hope after the fall. Love can build anything. Only love will build it all. Build your dreams, build your home, build your faith, you're not alone. Plant a seed, hand in hand, we can build a promised land. Love can build anything. It's the hope after the fall. Say love can build anything. Only love
was fabulous.
All right.
Thank you.
I want to get back to where you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, just stop sharing the screen. Right,
Okay,
there you go. That was great.
Very good. Thank you, Lonnie. That was great.
Alto, California.
You can.
And he's a financial analyst in Boston, Massachusetts.
Is that
You may not know it yet.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know what that is, but if you're not speaking, please mute yourselves.
no. That was YouTube.
Oh, that was YouTube. Okay, great.
Meet your second wife. Saturday Night Live. It was actually a pretty funny skit.
All right. So thank you, Lanny. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you wanted to?
that you go to earthman.tv, like television. That's the website, and see many more of the music videos. That's from my collective team, the Planet Earth Project, and the songs are mine.
That's fabulous. Did you produce it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, just great production.
Edited the music video. So I wish everybody peace and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Lanny
you.
Smith. Lanny has been part of the We team for quite a couple of years, 2-3 years now, and working with Sue and many of us for a better planet. So thank you, Lanny. And before we go on to our next person, I would like to express my gratitude. Let me see if I can spotlight this person. Sefi, can you put your video on? I can't spotlight you until you put your video. Hi.
Hi,
because
everyone.
Talking about love, I just wanted to express gratitude for the love of my life, Sefi, and say hi to people. A lot of people
Hi, everyone. Happy New
may not-
Year. Merry Christmas.
No,
Happy holiday. Good to
may
see
not
you
have seen
all.
you.
Hi.
Hello, Seppi.
So, anything you want to say?
I just wanted to thank the We team for the wonderful work they've been doing and for all the partners and collaborators. I think it's wonderful work and I'm inspired by it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We understand you inspire them as well.
Hey, Rick,
Yes.
I want to say hello to you and wish everyone
Oh,
healthy, happy coming New Year as well. And you all guys are brave that we all survived 21 and still smiling here, right?
yes.
Rick?
Do you remember Turlock, Sefi?
I know some of the people here, not everyone.
Yes. I
Yeah, Rick.
remember Turlock well.
Yes, because we've eaten in your restaurants.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are invited again anytime. Let me know.
The Ayurveda Cafe.
Yes. And
Thank
I
you.
also want to, Rick, with your permission, can I invite everyone to laugh with me at the beauty and the challenges of life?
Sure. Wow, let's open it up so we see everybody. Wow.
I send you my love and hugs virtually to everyone. Thank you, Rick.
And thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed the laughing,
Yes. Thank
Very
you.
much. It opens up your chest, it opens up your lungs, and it takes away all the wrinkles away from the face, So good.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you.
So, and Robert, I know you have to leave, so thank you for trends and everything. Al Smith, would you like to say a few words and maybe play your? Oh, you're gonna play. This is great.
Hey, everybody. It's good to see everyone.
Wow.
I mean, you know what? I got something better. Remember, you asked if Margie would recite some of her poetry? Remember when we talked about the poetry and music together? So she can kick off a few things. And
Wow, isn't that great?
Tom's in the house, so he's got the video this time.
Ah, good. Tom's in the house. But before you do that, just do you want to say just how long we've known each other? How many lifetimes?
We've known each other years. I mean, when you were a math teacher and I was playing at the Inwood Center at the rock bands, right? We got you to play keyboards for us when we were kids.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
So yeah,
Decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, we did projects together along the way, and you know, it's been a great friendship. I mean, you're definitely a great person to know and to be around.
Thank you. So do you want to do your thing first before you show the video, or show the video first and then do the poetry?
I think let's introduce Margie. What do you think, Margie? You want to do one of her poems or something like that, or what?
Yes. So why don't you stop sharing the screen? Is that who's that?
Tom is controlling the.
Right. So why don't you stop sharing? We'll do the video
Sure.
after.
Oh, sure. Hold on. Stop share. All right.
There we go.
It's off.
Okay.
It's unrehearsed, live, playing it all by ear.
Okay, well, I'm Margie, and I don't know Alf as long as you do, but I know him very, very well. And he's been a huge part of my life. And he's decided we're going to do a collaboration. I'm recently retired, and I've always enjoyed writing. I've been writing books for quite a while, but the poetry has bitten me hard. So in the last 3 months, I've written about 140 poems. They just come out of me from anywhere and everywhere.
Yes.
So I'm just going to read one of them. I'm not going to read 140 of them. We've got a lot of guests here. So I picked
Not tonight, anyway.
Not tonight. We may be collaborating at some point, I understand, Rick, and that would be the joy of my life. So I will share this one. It's called How Do You Know? And inspiration, everybody's talking about inspirations in the world and in their lives. Everything inspires me now that I have time to pay attention to it. So I got up in the morning getting ready to make some coffee, and I just look out my back window and I see the trees are just kind of swaying in the breeze. And I said, all right, he'll just have to wait for his coffee. I've got a poem to write. And it's called How Do You Know? Is wind a real thing? How do you know? You just have to watch how the leaves blow. You can't hold love in the palm of your hand. It's not tangible like a grain of sand. Now, how can you tell if love is really there? By watching how people show how much they care. So perhaps you don't believe in miracles, but have you ever seen a newborn baby and listened to its first giggles? Suppose I told you there was no higher power or presence. If so, then wind, love, and miracles would make no sense. This is where belief and faith comes in. This is where belief's heavenly power begins. This is where you are faced with a choice to believe in or dismiss your Creator's voice, who guides you in everything you do. This is completely and entirely up to you.
Oh, and a girl.
Okay.
That's the first time I heard it.
All right.
I mean,
and are you going to play something, Al? You're holding that guitar. It's very suspicious.
It was in case Murphy showed up. It would have been if Murphy showed up, but since Tom, you economize on everyone's time. Since Tom's got the video, he can show a video. Why don't you introduce it, Rick? You let everyone else the same peace concert where you tell the story this time how you joined impromptu.
Well, is Paul here? Because Paul, it was his event, right? I think maybe he had to leave. He wasn't feeling that well, actually.
Oh, really? He was here? I didn't scan. Was he on in the house?
He spoke earlier.
Oh.
So Paul did okay, let me just bring myself into the spotlight here. So Paul Sladkis from Good News Broadcast does an annual event in celebration of the International Day of Peace, September 21st. It's the culmination of 11 days of global unity. It goes from September 11th through the September 21st. And Paul has been able to do an amazing event in Times Square in New York City. In fact, getting enough people to actually form a peace sign with their bodies, which he took pictures of, from on high. And among the many amazing performers, Al Smith brought together his band to perform, and I think we're going to
kind of my one-man band.
Right, you are the band.
Yeah, until then that's where you come in.
Right, so on this particular occasion, you invited me to play keyboards, even though we didn't rehearse or anything, and I just sat in, but I made sure my ears got big and I could tell what chords you're playing and all that. And then we had a special guest on percussion, right? Who was that? Do you remember?
Juma Sultan played with Hendrix.
And he actually played with Jimi
And Richie
Hendrix.
Havens, yeah.
And Richie Havens, wow. So we got to play together, and it was great. It was great fun. Do you want to roll that a little clip from that video, Tom?
Sure.
Make sure you share the computer audio also.
Computer audio. Share screen. All right. Share sound. I think that's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Can I get into my thing?
Did you hear it?
Yeah, that is Al Smith.
All right,
amazing
let's
Al Smith.
Turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, good idea.
All right. Let's try it now.
Can I get into my thing? Can I get into it?
Good.
You know, like a dance machine, moving, grooving. You know where I'm going with this, right? This man, he knows all he says. I know where he's going with that. You don't know? Get up. Get up. Go see. Like a love machine. Get up. Get up. Get up. Shake your arm. Move the cloud. Down see. Like a set machine. Gotta have feeling. Don't you born. Get it together. Right on, right on. Get up. 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 They gon' see. Like a set machine. Get up. Get up. Get up. Wow. Wow. Right. Wow. Down.
What is it? Copying it? Copying it because of the.
Put your hands in the air, come on, throw them up in the air, like you just don't care. Come on, everybody, come on. New York. Wow. Yeah.
All right.
Rock and roll, rock and roll.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank
All
you,
right.
Al. I just want people to know, people who know about 11 Days of Global Unity, you were there performing on stage at the launch of 11 Days of Global Unity. Do you remember that, Al? In 2004 with Jane Goodall and Marianne Williamson were there. And so many others. There were like 500 people in the club that we were in. And you had them all dancing for the launch of 11 Days. Yeah. So, thank you. I know a few people, was there anything else that you want to say before we finish up, Al?
No. Well,
No.
Yeah.
happy holidays, everyone.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And a couple of people have to go. So I wanted to make sure that they are able to say a few words. Marriott, did you want to say a few words? You have to, I know you have to run. There you go. I'm going to spotlight you.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Marriott.
Hi, everybody.
Wow. So Marriott.
Hi, Rick.
Yes.
Great
is
to
your
see
video-
you.
Oh, there you go.
And
Now
Seffi.
you're on. It's great to see you. We haven't been together in some years
Thank
now.
you.
Yes. So Marriott.
I know,
you've
but I
been-
feel like I'm
You go ahead.
Oh, I was saying I feel like I'm back in the energy of we. You know, whenever we get together, it feels really good. Yeah. And it was so much fun tonight. I'm so happy about the Trends magazine too.
Definitely.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting. And you know, just so people know.
And I wanted to say hi to Seffi.
Oh yes, Seffi.
Hi,
Remember?
Marriott. How are you?
Hi, Seffi.
Nice
Great.
to-
Good to see you so much.
You too. You too. Thank you for joining us and hope everyone is well and your
Thank you.
family.
Yeah. So
Everybody's
Um,
great. Thank you, Sefi.
so people who
Yes.
are working with We the World, all this time, Marriott was uh, one of the people who helped to launch the We campaign and We.net, which is like foundational to everything that we are doing. So thank you again for that, Marriott. And Marriott is a wonderful artist, and she is a supporter of women's, empowerment and all kinds of things. You've worked with women in the shelter, the domestic violence shelters, correct, Marriott?
Right. Yes.
Anything now that you're doing
Yes.
that has to do with things like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of co-creating a movement to save the trees and the tree canopy in the area where I'm living in North Carolina. So I'm advocating for nature and all of everything that is linked to nature, trying to raise awareness about our interdependence with all living things.
Yes.
Trees are a symbol for that, and trees are very beneficial for our future. So that's one thing I'm doing.
And didn't you connect us with Tree Sisters some time ago?
Oh yeah. I've did some work with Tree Sisters. Yes, I'm still supporting Tree Sisters.
Uh-huh.
I love
Right.
their mission, which is to empower women around the world. Yeah, to to step into their power, and also to plant in the tropics, to plant trees, billions of trees that are needed to sequester the carbon.
Right.
And
what-
everybody check out Tree Sisters.
Exactly. I think we explored the possibility of doing a fiscal sponsorship for them some time ago, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Because some of the people on our team have
They're
connected with
growing a
them.
lot.
Yeah, some folks have been in touch with them recently, so maybe we can make that connection more solid too. Right, Angel? I think I was mentioning that.
Definitely. Thanks so much.
Well, it's good to see you. And I guess we will
Yeah, I
be
love what
in touch.
it's always great to see you, Rick, and everybody. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Robin, did you want to perform a little bit?
Yeah, I'll just do this one. How about one song, or did you want to sing along? I mean, it depends if you guys want it. But I'll start with an original song that
Okay.
I wrote. I went to a samba workshop in Vermont in the mid '80s, and the teacher said that the samba was the heartbeat of Earth. And that night I wrote a song called Heartbeat of Earth. And if anyone's interested in this, contact me. My contact is in the underneath my trends article. I'd like to create a children's transformational ecological show called Heartbeat of Earth. So anyone interested in that idea, and this could be the theme song. Okay, let's just. All right, just a second. You know what?
Yep.
I'm having brain freeze. I just need a second.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do the other one first?
Yeah,
Silver Bells?
would you all like to sing Silver Bells? Would it work with everyone unmuted, or would it just work if I'm singing and then everybody is
Yeah, it'll be a little chaotic if
okay, so I'm
we
going to
turn
sing.
on.
I just put the lyrics into the chat,
Oh,
and here we go.
Excellent.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you hear silver bells, silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling,
Ring-a-ling,
hear them ring,
hear them ring.
soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of street lights, even stoplights, blinking bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene. And above all the bustle you hear silver bells,
Silver bells,
silver bells,
silver
bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, ring-a-ling, hear them ring, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Yay. And now I just have to put this back on. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the chorus. I loved it. I always think of New York City when I think of that song. And so I think some of you live in New York, right?
Yes.
I'm in LA, so it's not quite the same. What am I doing wrong? Listen. I can't get the first. Why am I blanking? I'll just sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Dance to the heartbeat of earth. All of our hands hammer the bells ringing hard. I'm not able to do it, Rick. I can't remember. I'm having a.
It happens. That's okay.
I think
maybe later.
Okay, try it one more time.
You're gonna try it?
Hands hammer the bells, bringing harmony to the dark of light, seeking our higher selves in the song of the psalmist sounding in the night. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth and dance to the heartbeat of earth. On foot through mountains, your spirit rises, the spirit rises and shall endure. Finding your inner guidance, may the music guide you forevermore. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth. Sing a song upon a hill and dance to the heartbeat of earth, and dance to the heartbeat of earth, and dance to the heartbeat of earth.
Okay, you did
You
it.
got the idea. I mean, I'm a writer. Maybe I shouldn't be the performer of it, but wrote it. I wrote it decades ago, so it's not so fresh. Although I did practice it. Rick knows I had it down.
All right. So thank you. You were able to get it to squeeze it out. So there you go. And thank you for all of your interesting things that you're doing with idling, that issue, and all the other things. So thank you, Robin.
Yeah, let's do a kid show. Heartbeat of Earth, transformation and environment.
That sounds good, and I'm sure Sue would like to talk to you about that. That's exactly what she's working on.
Well, thank all of you. I'm going to have to go, but thank you all. I really enjoyed this so much. And thanks for Trends. And thank you, Robert and Angel.
Yes, thank you. So I was wondering, Andre, if you'd like to say a few words, and then I see that Joe has come in, and Meredith. Oh, and I see a hand waving there in the back. Hi, Meredith. So are you folks going to do some performance? Because people were raving about what you did last year. And if not, it's okay.
Fortunately, I'm having some hearing problems this week, and I really can't reliably do it. So
But
maybe
okay.
next year.
Okay, no problem, no problem. But it's good to see you.
Yeah. We just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We're not going to stay very long, but
yeah, hang out. We've had some amazing
I'm sure
folks talking and performing and all kinds of things. So
yeah, like I say, I'm having a very hard time with my ears this week.
well, I hope that gets better.
Problem.
Joe is a fabulous guitar player, and Meredith is a wonderful vocalist. And it's great to see you both here. Hi. So, Andre, would you like to say a few words about what you've been working on? We met recently, and you've been doing some amazing things.
Yes, thank you very much. Namaste, everyone. Happy holidays. I'm a peace activist, and I'm promoting women and nonviolence as the movement to go into the future, because the world crises are getting worse, and we need something different and special. And so I'd like to tell a short little story. As a child growing up, I used to watch all the war movies, and I loved them, and I still like war movies. But in a movie called The Longest Day, it was about the D-Day, and the people were in France, and the soldiers were in a small town, and they were fighting. And then right in the middle of the movie, they had, all of a sudden, the nuns came out of the church and went walking right through town, and all the violence stopped. And it was profound, because it was, yes, religious people, but it was the women, and the men wouldn't shoot. They wouldn't kill the women. So that stuck with me. And in my later life, I remember that specific section. And so now I think that we have an amazing opportunity in the world to unite all the people. Rick, you've been uniting all the movements and all these beautiful people and leaders together. Now to take all that you have done and reach out into every household, enlist the women. That's my theory, and I've designed a plan for that. And COVID, COP26 opened the door because it showed that we need a people movement, as Kurt was saying. And Ambassador Chidori, he was saying that women.
Chowdhury.
Chowdhury.
Yeah.
Chowdhury. That women, the first item he brought up was the women. And women have been mobilizing around the world, and they've already practiced uniting and mobilizing. The Women's March on Washington. Women leaders went to Korea, and they tried to bring peace between North and South Korea. That's Women Cross the DMZ with Christine Ahn, and she got all the Nobel Peace Laureates, not all, I'm sorry, some of the women Nobel Peace Laureates together. And the Arab women and Jewish women in Israel and in Jerusalem marched for the past 6-7 years. So there's opportunity right now to ask those women leaders to come to the forefront, to lead a movement of nonviolence, and to ask women to be the first ones to rise up and then invite the men. Because if the women are first, it'll be special, it'll be different. And we need something different now. The video that Sue showed was perfect. It showed the children that they want change now. That was their message. They were saying we need action now. And so I've been very fortunate to be working on this project. I was connected to the Secretary General of the United Nations. I told you that, Rick, the other night, by Ambassador Chowdhury's, one of his good friends, Federico Mayor. So I'm very lucky, and I've been trying to promote it, and I appreciate it. Thank you for having me here tonight, meeting all these people. And so thank you so much. Peace.
Thank you. That's great, Andre. We had a really good session the other day on the Women and Allies broadcast. And you are definitely a strong ally for women. And I could see that you are following in Ambassador Chowdhury's footsteps there with the idea of empowering women around the world to take leadership positions.
Yes. And I think that because you brought up 1325, I've been following it. I went to the CSW, Commission on the Status of Women at the UN, in 2008. And at that time, it was already 8 years old, and they were saying, oh, it's not working. And all my research shows that 1325 is not working. And so women are not going to be heard unless they take the world stage. And now that's going to be an amazing thing, because it'll capture the attention of the media. And there's elements that just make it special on every way you look at it. And that's what I've been working on. If anyone wants to find out more about it, please contact me. I'll put my email address in the chat. But it's been wonderful, and I think that the crises are that bad that we need action now. So I've designed it that it can start right away. So it's all about predicated on having the women leaders come together, and that's what I work on.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Rick, we now live in a world in which we are divided. About 50% are into crazy things, and the other 50% we think are into good things. And it seems as if, how is we the world going to progress if half the world has gone crazy?
That's
why nonviolence is the answer, because it's an anti-war movement, but it's also a movement of goodwill.
Yeah, but if half the world believes in violence, and in other words, we've got a crazy situation going on now.
That's right. It's going to be a very difficult problem, but history shows that all the good work that's being done always gets derailed by militarism and war, and that's patriarchal. So there's an advantage that women have, And the women are usually socialized to be the least physically violent. So what did Gandhi and King do? They asked their constituents to commit to nonviolence. That's the first thing they did. And then the added part now, I believe, is bringing everyone together through working together for a commonality, and that's the children. That's what Sue was pointing out, that yes, we're doing this to illustrate for the children that we can resolve our conflicts nonviolently. So up against all those maniacs, yeah, there's nothing you can do if they're maniacs, but there's a logic in there that will hold them together, hold it together by committing to nonviolence. And because that's the political goal, is to ask the governments to commit to nonviolence and commit to renouncing war. That's the political goal. But then all the rest of it is works together to strengthen everyone, the people in every country doing the same thing. So I'm not asking anyone to stop the work they're doing now. That's the beauty of it, is keep doing that, but also promote the mother movement, a global movement of nonviolence led by women.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, you know, the thing is though, is that what you're saying about we should go nonviolent and whatever, like, what was that, Tarzan, Northrop? I can't get your name, but like you were saying, there's about 50-50, and you're not going to talk the other 50 into doing that. And then we can say it's a good thing all day long. They're not going to go along with it. And so what we need to do, if we are that close, the reason the people who are in charge is because they are a whole lot better organized and collaborative than we are. It's not because of their money, although that helps. That's not the reason they're in charge. They're better organized, better collaborative. And if we want to have a snowball's chance and you know where, we have got to get ourselves a whole lot better organized and collaborative than we are. And that's what we really need to work on. And women are just as much a part of that as men are, but I'm not going to go for it singling out a single sex or a single age group. We all got to do it.
In other words, what you're saying is it's all about we, right, Jack?
Well, it comes right down, yeah, it is.
That's all about we. And Jerry, I must say, I don't think it's 50% is working for violence. It's probably like 1%. It's not, you know what I mean? It seems like 50% because they're very loud.
Yeah, but I think it's at least 30% right now. And, you know, they're the ones that are really dedicated to what they're doing. The people that are into peace, just that they happen to live in a peaceful way. They're probably meditating, and the other people are out there ready to kill.
I get it. So, so let's hear from Judy. Did you say that you wanted to share something? Judy,
I have to unmute myself.
Exactly.
So I can share. Hi, everybody. I wanted to say hello and really nice to be here with all of you.
Could you kind of introduce yourself to what you've been doing and where you're located and that kind of thing?
So I'm in New York City. I am an actress and I'm a filmmaker and I'm a singer-songwriter. And we actually have a film out right now. It was in the theaters for 11 weeks and it's on Vimeo and it's on Amazon, and we're in consideration for the different awards right now. Hopefully we will get nominated. And it's called Tango Shalom. And its message is interfaith dialogue and peace. And so we won an award this summer during the Cannes Film Festival from the Artisan International World Peace and Tolerance Award for our film, for Tango Shalom. I'm going to put a little link into the chat. There's like a holiday special right now for the film that you can like watch it for half price on Vimeo. So I'm going to just put it in the chat so you guys can get half price to watch it. But yeah, it's with Renee Taylor and Lainey Kazan and Karina Smirnoff. It's like my big fat Greek wedding with a really strong message of religious tolerance and so. And I wanted to sing a song for you guys. It's a song that I wrote that I channeled, and I think I might have sung it before at a different event, Rick. I've sung it at different places, but I wanted to sing it for you because this is a piece. This song is about peace, interior peace.
That sounds great. Thank you.
And it's like it's a meditation kind of a song. So I'm just gonna sing it for you. A cappella. When you hear a little message, when you hear the whistle blowing, and you know the time is right, because things can't stay the same. People watching you, and people judging you, and people looking through you. But there is so much hope in prayer. And there is so much hope in prayer. And there is so much laughter there. And there is something that you, and there is so much strength in something greater than you know. If you just sit down and listen, if you just sit down and wonder, if you just open your heart, open your heart, and reach out for something, you can do it. You can do it with love. When you're feeling something's missing, when you're feeling down and low, when you're feeling there is something missing, there is something much stronger than you, something that you just didn't know that was missing. Is right there inside you, is right there inside you. But you've been looking outside of yourself, you'll never find it here. You don't look inside you, 'cause it's all happening right there inside of you. And you'll be safe, and you'll be set free. Thank you.
Wow, that was fabulous. That was just
wonderful.
Just fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, so I want to bring in two people. First of all, we are joined by Deborah Moldau, and I want to let people know, wait, let's see if I can get her on here. Hi. Hi, Deborah. How are you feeling?
Hi, wonderful. It's great to be here. I'm so sorry I'm late, but I'm glad you're still going strong.
We're still going. And guess what? Today is Deborah's birthday. Happy birthday to you.
You.
Happy
birthday to you.
You.
Happy
Birthday, dear Deborah. Happy birthday to
Thank you, everyone.
Happy birthday.
That was so great.
Very special to be sung to on Zoom.
Yes, it's got its own ring to it, right?
Is that where you're living, Deborah?
What'd you say, Jerry?
Is that where you're living?
Oh, yes.
It looks beautiful.
Mexico.
Yeah, no, there's a background. It's really nice.
So how are you feeling on your birthday?
Not a whole lot older.
That's good.
No, it's been just a day of gratitude and joy. So I it's when you get up in years, you get more grateful, I think, and more appreciative of your friends, more appreciative of your health. And all I can say is that today, life is good.
Good. That is so great. And thank you for joining us. I mean, you're interconnected to many of the folks that have been here. Ambassador Chowdhury was on earlier. Tezekiah was on. And so many others. Kurt
Johnson.
Kurt Johnson opened us all up at the beginning.
Beautiful. We know such wonderful people, don't we?
Yes.
Present company included.
And Jerry, you know Jerry for years, right?
Oh, yes.
Let me see if I can.
Jerry was able to keep us all laughing no matter what the circumstances. And sometimes in the UN, the circumstances were not so favorable. But Jerry was always there.
Yep. And you know Andrew, I'm going to
Yes.
bring him on. Who else?
And I haven't seen Andrew in person since the Holy Land. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah, I meant that.
Seppi, can you put your video on? Because I want to tell people. There you go. And Seppi is on. We all went to China together.
That was such a beautiful adventure, wasn't it?
It was an adventure, a
It
total
was an
adventure.
amazing trip.
And Deborah has a wonderful voice. I don't know if you want to sing anything, but you're certainly welcome to a cappella if you want. But we did a concert together in China. What year was that? Do you remember? Was that 2014?
I think it was 2012.
2012? Wow. So it's 9 years ago. Isn't that incredible?
Oh my.
So you and I did a concert in China, and Seppi was there. David Wick was there,
And you and I played together at the United Nations too, at the Tillman Chapel.
Yes.
Yeah, and Rick, I just wanted to sing something for Deborah a cappella.
Okay.
Go for it, Jerry.
A cappella, though you're very small. When your heart is full of love, you're 9 feet or 10 feet or 11 feet tall.
That's amazing.
I was just thinking the other day about how much I miss Danny Kaye, who made that song famous in Thumbelina, in a movie about Hans Christian Andersen.
Ah, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an incredible human, right?
What an entertainer, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a UNICEF ambassador. I think he's how I first heard about UNICEF. We were shown a film in my elementary school about UNICEF. And it showed Danny Kaye with children in Africa who had terrible diseases that were being helped by getting care through UNICEF.
Isn't that something? Wow. So would you want to sing something in for the today's holiday party, Deborah?
I don't know what would be appropriate to sing. Maybe like a Christmas song?
If you want. Could be a Hanukkah song if you want.
Are there, well, I don't know if I know I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica well enough to sing it. That's
sounds
the
like a
only
good
Hanukkah song that I think is really good. Tom Lehrer, another great from our childhood.
Wow. Isn't that funny? Well, think about it. But
It's not the same when you're not playing for me.
I know. Yeah, I played a bit during, the rest of the party.
What
a
did you
little
play?
bit.
What did I miss? I'm sorry.
Oh, all different things. It's okay. So, well, and any thoughts about where we're going to? Ambassador Chowdhury talked a little bit about how we're moving forward together, and I mentioned when Kurt was talking about all the interesting things that Kurt is doing, and Kurt got that award, the Synergy Superstar Award, which you helped to present to him. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't easy encapsulating Kurt's life. He's lived like the lives of 10 different people in his lifetime.
Exactly. So what's coming up for the Evolutionary Leaders Source of Synergy Foundation Garden of Light? Every once in a while I see a question emerge, the question of the week.
Yeah, it used to be every week, and now it's like 4 times a year. Because I've just been so busy with the evolutionary leaders, not to mention building a house in Mexico. But
tell us about Mexico. Seppi and I want to visit you in Mexico.
Oh, absolutely, you must. You'll have such a good time here. Wow. It's a very special place, San Miguel de Allende. It's a mecca for artists and musicians and writers in the central highlands of Mexico, north of Mexico City. And so there's a big expat community here, which is why it's easy to fit right in. You don't have to be fluent in Spanish to enjoy San Miguel. And so there's not only wonderful entertainment, arts, restaurants, all of that. It's a beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Site city. And it has a very rich indigenous culture. And of course, everything is less expensive here. But none of that is the best part. I have to say, and I'm a native New Yorker. I'm from Manhattan, right? Leaving the United States in this time felt good. And it's not, I don't mean that as a criticism. It's just that the United States is in so much turmoil right now. There's so much unrest and unhappiness. And I think the pandemic just brought that to the surface. I think the Trump presidency really brought it to the surface. Like we could really see how angry people are. And there's a lot of despair. So the important thing is that we're moving into a new year and it's 2022, and 22 is a master number. It's the gateway to infinite possibility. And those of us who are working for the transformation of human consciousness need to keep in mind, if we want to stay hopeful, we need to keep in mind that we're in new territory. And we're at a choice point. I hate to say our moment of choice because that's the book that we wrote. but but it is. And humanity gets to step across this portal, which I think is 2022. I think that's the portal. That's the gates, those two twos, you know. And that we're going to step together into something that is so new that we will really feel that we're co-creating it. So we get to let go of the old patterns and the old systems that don't serve us anymore. And really look ahead and think, what would it be like to bring in together the next step of human evolution? What would that look like in our individual lives? What would that look like where we live? What would that look like in the world? We saw at COP26, we saw that the governments, if we hadn't noticed before, it really drove home the fact that the governments cannot cope with the climate crisis. They can't. So who can? Only the people. So this is the we moment. This is the moment when the people of the world get to step forward and say, well, maybe my government isn't doing what I think they should be doing to mitigate the incredibly frightening changes that we're already beginning to see in weather patterns. So what can I do? What can we do together? And how can a new consciousness of love and caring and forgiveness and healing, how can that change the world? If we do it together.
Are you available? Are you available to become an empress?
I think it's just time for voices of hope. We all need it, because I don't know about the rest of you, but I have a lot of despair these days. When I look at that swath of tornadoes that tore across the Midwest, not even in tornado territory. When I look at the fires in California and other parts of the world, the mudslides, the storms, the intense storms, the flooding, this is the beginning of climate change. So we need to really, we need to really understand in our hearts that it's possible for everything to be quite different. It doesn't have to just keep looking like living with a Congress that can't pass anything. No, that's not what it's about anymore. It's not about the governing few. It's not even about the super wealthy few. No, we have to do it together. It's the only way. And nobody knows that better than Rick Alford.
I remember when you were at the UN, but then we were actually meeting. I mean, this COVID has almost made it very impossible for people to have the kind of meetings that they used to have.
We were very privileged to be there when we could be inside the building.
Yep, that was wondrous.
It was a magical time, and hopefully we planted some good seeds.
Yep. Wow. Well, thank you. We look forward to joining with you, Deborah, in making the shift that you're talking about. That's what it's all about, right?
You're doing it with every breath you take.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So before we finish up, I think Shannon would like to say a few words. Is that correct, Shannon?
Sure. Sure. I just stepped away for a moment, but yeah, no, I just
I'm trying to find you so I can Is your
Oh.
video on?
It is.
Okay, I just have to find you.
Can you find me? Where am I? Am I lost?
There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, good evening, everybody. Just so you know, I'm coming from my homelands, which is the homelands of the Ojibwe people in northern Minnesota, on the shores of Lake Superior. So I'm glad to be joining everybody and in the true north where the snow's on the ground and it's about 12 degrees right now. So we're in the season, and I'm just glad to join this party and to, celebrate the world and what's been and what's coming. And yeah, so Rick, I was just so glad to see everybody here and listen to the music and, just be a part of it all. For a brief moment, I was just kind of reflecting about kind of my reality versus many people's reality, being on a reservation, being with, my indigenous brothers and sisters, and kind of where we're at in this season and in this time. So yeah, so I was reflecting upon everything that everybody's been saying, about, hearing about where we're at in this point in time, and what it reminded me of was some stories that Born in the Cloud of Smoke was telling me earlier today. So maybe I should just have her come on, Rick, for a minute and tell a story. What do you think?
Definitely, Born in a Cloud of Smoke would be very interesting to join the we party.
Yeah. Why doesn't I'll see if she'll come in and see
Okay.
what she has to say. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Oh, bonjour. Anin in the way Maganak. That means hello to all my relatives. So glad to see you tonight. I'm so happy that you're getting together to talk about the things that need to change, talk about the things that are changing. So happy. So I just thought I'd come in, and we have a little bit different tradition here. So when it comes to be this time of year, we call it Bourbon. It's the winter season coming. And it's only in the winter we can tell certain stories. Other kinds of stories we can tell any time. But in the winter, that's the only time we can tell the sacred stories. I don't know why that is. Maybe because in the wintertime we had to huddle all together. Something to do when it got dark so early. But it was then that we told the sacred stories. And when we were kids, you couldn't fall asleep when they were telling those stories. That's how the history got passed down. So today, I was thinking about one story in particular. And so I'll share that story with you. Everybody's got a creation story. Well, we had a creation story too. And we had a flood story, like many people do. So in this story, long time ago, like so old that out here on this Lake Superior, so it was before those rocks were even here. It came down during the Ice Age. But this happened before all of that. The story goes that one time there was only one Earth mass. Yeah, just one Earth mass. and one peoples on that earth. But what happened was there was a big flood, huge flood. And the people, the land, it kind of broke apart. And this part of the land that we're on right now, that became known as Turtle Island. Because on that turtle's back was everything that we needed to learn to be able to live here as a people. It's not like we haven't been through almost extinction before and many times since. People need to remember that. But we're at that time again. So what made us survive? Well, there were lessons, not just from the human beings, but from all of creation, like that turtle. That turtle's back, there was a way to navigate these, what we call the Americas, all the riverways for the trading, all the 4 moons, the seasons, the 13 moons on the back of the turtle, everything, the Rocky Mountains, all on the back of the turtle. That's how we got all around. We learned those things. But it's time now, when I look around and see what's happening, it's time that we share these teachings so that people can survive. Sometimes I remember this one story about these 2 women. They got left behind. They were talking about women earlier. Well, these 2 women, they were old women. They got left behind. They figured that, well, they weren't traveling fast enough. They were old, and they were having a hard time as a people. So they left those 2 women behind, and it got to be winter time. But those women those 2 women felt pretty bad. They didn't even like each other. And they ended up having to be together. But what they learned was that between the 2 of them, they learned how to survive. One of them snared rabbits so they could make it through the winter. The other one, she was pretty good at tanning hides, so she did that work. And together they made it through the winter. And in the spring, they went and found those people again. And they were near starved because they didn't have the information that those 2 old women had. So I don't know, I'm thinking about all this when you talk about the young. I heard other people talking about the young ones, the children, and young and youth and young adults. Well, there's things that we did, not just when they got here to make them peaceful people, but before they even arrived. We had a ceremony called welcoming in the womb. Yep. The minute we knew the new one was coming, we would have a ceremony. And we would do something called transfer of character, so that that young person would know what their purpose was, who they were through their naming, through those ceremonies. Yeah, I think it's time to bring some of that back. So when you're thinking about this time, think about celebrating the return of the light. Yeah, that's happening just in a couple of days. So I'm just glad to see all of you. I'm gonna go get something to eat now. All right, love you all. Till next time, Gigawabaman.
Thank you, Born in a Cloud of Smoke.
Yeah, she's making me keep her mask on. She says it's a little dangerous still. So when you're out and about, think about that, got to protect ourselves and each other. So I love you all. I've got to go feed my belly and feed Angelique. Until next time, as we say, We keep on keeping on, and we're in
progress.
we the world, right?
It's all about we. Thank
It's all
you.
about we, all about we. Love you all. Till next time.
Till next time.
And in the spiritual tradition, we say goodbye until next time.
Yes, but I think we have more people who want to contribute before we finish up today. Andrew, did you want to read a poem?
Sure.
Yes?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So Andrew Kane has been part of We the World for how long? Since the beginning, I think.
Beginning.
Yeah. So it's good to see you, Andrew.
Happy holidays.
Yes. And what is the name of the poem that you want to read?
Dream a dream come true.
Oh, wow. Okay. Take it away.
I dream a dream where my reality is the whiff of my fantasies, where there are no limits, no doubts, full of love and gratitude, to let go of what was and open a new chamber for growth, expansion, and manifestation of my highest intent. To share my dreams with the world, where my reality is but a whiff of my fantasies, everlasting, where no limits apply and all boundaries are met. With circumstances and compassion, manifestation of my highest intent is to share my deepest dreams for heaven on earth materialized, where oneness is one for all, and unity is in all communities, across the great divide, connecting all land to see that we are all one, connected to the earth heart mother, beating as one to all living creatures and plants, water and land united, humans seeking the path of connection like never before, time to spread our wings with our multidimensional selves. No limits, full throttle ahead. I dream a dream where my reality is the whiff of my fantasies, where there are no limits. Full throttle ahead, ahead like the sky is blue, like night and day, and sunshine and moonshine. Shine our hearts with the light of the sun and the light of the moon and stars. Like the fire in the fireplace, ignite our fire higher. Our heart chakra is ready to expand and rejoice, to fill our hearts, to fill our souls with honey, sweeter than any taste you know of. Fonder than any grain of salt, the minerals and crystals speak to us. The waters of the world need love too. The trees need a hug. The animals and first peoples have been preaching this message for thousands of years, but we were sleeping. The sleeping giants awakened, and time may last for my dreams to come true. I dream a dream, and the time has come now. It is here to let go of what was and be the light of the world. We each share this light, so let us shine on, sweet diamond glory. Shine on, shine on, shine on, shine our light, and be the light that leads the way to return home. Still breathing, breathing, keeping the dream alive. Welcome home, everyone. We are one.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Andrew. And Andrew has been doing the World Peace Earth Day celebration for how many years? 14 years now?
15 years now.
15 years. Wow. Isn't that incredible? So we look forward to that. That's always on or around Earth Day in April. So thank you. And Deborah, do you want to say what you just wrote in the chat?
Thank you, dear Andrew, for the magnificent poem.
Thank you.
Your poetry always just moves my heart.
I love you, Deborah.
And it's unfortunate, you know, we like to do it where I'm like accompanying him on the piano, but Zoom, it sort of makes it pretty iffy. So, but
I understand that the latest upgrade of Zoom, that is more possible than it used to be.
Oh.
So you can give it a try, especially accompanying a poem where it doesn't have to be as exact as accompanying a singer.
Right, right. But it's also past, you know, where Sephi and I live, you know, there are some.
Oh, you're not supposed to play anymore, right?
No.
You're in a quiet zone.
Exactly. I broke
Whereas
the rules.
I'm expecting fireworks outside my window any minute now.
Wow. I broke the rules a little bit playing Happy Birthday for you earlier.
I'm sure they'll forgive you for that one.
I think so. I think so. So as we're winding up here, is there anyone who would like to say anything before we finish up? I see some folks, some old friends like Eric. Hi, good to see you.
Hey, Rick. Always great to see you. Always great to see all this beautiful inspiration and people. No matter what's happening in the world, they're stepping up to the plate to keep. There, yeah. they keep hope and joy alive. It's just so important. So important to realize and be grateful for everything we have. You know, all the obstacles can be teachers, and learn to be inspired.
Yes.
Bring that to
definitely be inspired. And
Yeah.
I'm remembering when we did things in person a couple of years ago, that you were a big part of that, and also our dear friend Joseph Singer, Joe Singer. Hi.
Interesting. Yeah.
People in New York may remember Joe was very thoughtful and contributed food to many of our parties over the years. Hi, Joe.
Yeah. Joseph always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The food man. Yeah, always brought a whole bunch of delicious food.
Exactly.
Drinks and food and how many years of we the world parties. It's a great thing to look back on. And I was I was a little looking down. I was like, I don't know about joining the Zoom tonight. That's not in person.
But you made it.
But it's great to see everyone and to keep dreams alive, keep us going. So I see Thomas McQueen in there too, looking on Apollo. I've seen him how many different times at the different.
Who's that?
Thomas McQueen.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, you
Oh,
know,
there you are.
inspiring
Okay.
actor and glorious personality in his own right.
Uh-huh.
So
Thank you. Did you want to say anything, Thomas?
Well, I met Eric in September 2018, right the day I turned 21, actually, at the church event. So, yeah, we met there and like we started chatting. Like, I got to know him a little bit, but then we got out of touch for like 2 years because I was out finishing college, and after that, I was traveling around the country for a few months. So I was a leave for a little bit. Then we get back in touch, and now he put me on this creative journey of like saying, ask the universe for what you want, then go through this whole process of being not only clear, but also using the process of didactic imagery, which is a visualization technique where if you harness and refine it, you start becoming breadcrumb particular, not only with what you want, but also how you want to manifest whatever it is you want for yourself, and maybe in this sense, giving back to our world as a whole.
there you go. Yeah. He's on the path.
All right. Well, thank you.
And one way to prove it is this game, Caroline Miss Archetype Cards. If you don't know who she is, she's a mythical spiritual teacher, and she's quite interesting.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Thomas. And thank you, Eric. And uh, thank you, Joe. It's good to see you all. And I'm wondering if, as we finish up, um, Angel, would you like to say a few words as we kind of wind up our party? You spoke a little bit earlier, but it would be great to just hear from you, and because nothing that we do with We the World could be done without your help. Nothing. I mean, I'm saying a big zero.
I will say that that's false information because We the World has been around for 23 years, 24, and I've only been around for 5 or 6. So you're doing quite fabulous, even without me. But yes, it's been a pleasure being here tonight and seeing all this, hearing all the great music and all the great people here that are connected to Rick, and learning more, even more about his history and all his gallivanting around the globe, and meeting all of you wonderful people. I do look forward to getting to know some of you more. And on that note, if everyone feels inspired and encouraged, please donate to We the World so that we can bring some more of this programming to everyone. We have many new projects that we started this past year, and we would be very grateful and extremely appreciative if people are able to support. Please go to we.net/donate.
That sounds great. And thank you. And do I see butterflies or dragonflies? Do I see dragonflies there?
No, it's butterflies.
Oh, there are butterflies. But I know you're the dragonfly lady, right?
Yes, that's my daughter. She did that.
Ah.
Dragonflies are my thing, but I'm okay with butterflies too, I guess. But we all need wings.
Exactly. Exactly. So, wow. Well, thank you, Angel. This has been fabulous. I think I'll go back to the sort of gallery view so we can all see each other for the end. And onward and upward, we have all these things. And thank you, Angel, for pointing that out. It's impossible to do this without people's support. So we.net/donate. And we have all these interesting things coming up with the MLK program in January and February, and all of the different things. The town hall, we're starting a new thing now at the end of the MLK program in on February 28th. We're going to have a town hall where people can have their voices heard, and so many other things. So, oh, thank you for putting the link in the chat there. And I guess that's it. Thank you, and have a wonderful holiday season, turn of the new year, Christmas, everything. It's all about we. We're going from a me society to a we society, and you're all part of that. Thank you.
Dries.
Exactly. Hi.
Good night.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Happy holidays, sweet dreams.
Good night.
Here.
Okay.
Be well.
Sure thing.
Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.